and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile, pants are off but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee, talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show, let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile, pants are off but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee, talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show, let's go. Serious is overrated, every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town but in a jest, morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. Oh boy, have I got a good one for you. Oh, you'll never unsee it now. You won't ever be able to unsee it. Once you see it, it just doesn't go away. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Mary Walls. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Debbie Webb. Tammy Bugard. Tease T. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Gail. And it is a beautiful, beautiful day today. What do we have going on this morning? Well, it looks like somebody in Israel took the wrong side of a missile. That's what it looks like happened. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, and ouch. That was insane. So it looks like that Israeli forces in Gaza have deleted Mr. Sinwar. I'm not even going to try to say his name. A chief architect of last year's attack on Israel that sparked the war that's been going on for a long time. The military said Thursday troops appeared to have run across him unknowingly in a battle, only to discover afterwards that it was the most wanted man. Well, they celebrated his deletion as a settling of scores over just a year after the Hamas it's Hamas led. Oh, I was like, Hamasled? What the hell is Hamasled? Hamasled militants killed some 1,200 people in Israel, kidnapped 250s in an attack that should have stunned the world, but a lot of people had never even heard about it. Yeah. They also presented it as a turning point in the campaign to destroy Hamas. Urging the group to surrender and release some 100 hostages still in Gaza. Hamas will no longer rule Gaza. This is the start of the day after Hamas. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said U.S. officials expressed hope for a ceasefire. See, U.S. officials keep hoping for a ceasefire because, Biden really needs a win in his presidency. It's amazing. What happened? Well, Gail, there was a Good morning. Good morning. There was the architect of the October 7th attack that on a music festival in Israel. Yeah, a lot of people haven't heard about that. They're wondering why Israel and there's fighting in the Gaza Strip. Well, this is what spurred it off, is because of Hamas running parts of that area in the Gaza Strip. Decided to take a swing at Israel, and Israel swung back. It's basically what happened. And then Iran got involved, and now you've got a whole bunch of other Middle East countries that are involved in this. And Biden, like I said, really needs that win. Camel Toe needs that win because she's losing on all fronts right now. And she's losing against people that are of a certain color because they should be voting for their overlords again this year, and they're not. And then she's getting upset about that. And she was so upset she couldn't even show up to the Al Smith dinner, which is something that almost every president, I think it was since Mondale, since Mondale, has shown up to roast the other candidate in it's supposed to be a good spirited, have fun, poke fun at the other person. I don't think that Camel Toe is funny though. That's probably what happened. Hey, King Paco, good to see you. How are you doing this morning? And if you guys haven't seen the roast, the Al Smith dinner, which is always in good humor, it was cringy. That's to say the least. Gaffigan did a really good job. Gaffigan, I was pretty impressed with. Trump, a little too much rambling, but he got the jabs in there. You know, if you cut them out and clip them, they're pretty funny. Just a little too much rambling for me in the middle of it. This personal opinion. Camel Toe wasn't funny at all during the Al Smith dinner. It lacked all humor. They had to get the whatever the actress is to do that, Mary Catherine Gallagher, whatever, to come in, you know, and to even attempt to make it funny. Just saying, it was sort of weak. I mean, it doesn't land the same thing because in some of the best parts of comedy are the response from the crowd, the laughs, the sneers, the pokes, the poke back, the knowing that they got you because it's funny, and you know you can laugh at it. But we'll go into that a little bit later because this one here was fun. U.S. officials express hope for a ceasefire with Sinwar out of the picture, but eliminating him may not end the devastating war. No, you have to remember that there's a reason why this war is going on. And it's not a happy scene, like they want you to believe that, you know, it's all fun and games. It's not. Yeah, she thinks she's funny. She's definitely not funny. And of course, then they have to, you know, the news has to go into how many deaths there have been in the Gaza Strip. Sinwar's death is a crippling blow to Hamas, but the group, which received support from Iran and the U.S., because you would think that we would have learned after Afghanistan not to do that. Netanyahu has said Israel will keep fighting until all the hostages are free, and that it will keep control over Gaza long enough to ensure that Hamas does not rearm an effective occupation that raises the possibility of months or even years of continued fighting. As I said, it's really bad. Part of the comedy is watching Camel Toe's answers to questions. Yeah. It was completely insane. In his speech about Sinwar's death, Netanyahu said, "Our war has not yet ended." As he's said multiple times, that, you know, the wins that Israel gets in this are not wins for the Biden-Harris administration, because it is very important to remember that this has been going on for a long time. This war at times has gotten very quiet, but it has been pretty constant. They usually fire up every few years, and they have been for thousands of years. It's not going to end anytime soon. All it is one group disappears, another comes in and follows right behind him. And if you take into consideration all of the weird crap that's been happening over the past few decades, it's this is just nothing but something that AP has to put in there because, well, it helps a political party. War sucks. It absolutely sucks. And if you're wondering why I say that this will keep getting ramped up. It will get ramped up many times, and you'll never see where it's coming from. The left versus the right versus the centrist versus whomever it might be. And here's a perfect example. The right-wing influencers hyped anti-Ukraine videos made by a TV producer, also funded by Russian media. But are we to believe that our media hasn't been funded by Ukraine and by the money that's coming in from Ukraine? That presidential candidates and senators, congressmen haven't been influenced, aren't receiving funds from the same people? It's crazy to me that you have to have someone smarter than me, much smarter than me, that has to show up and give me help. What's up, Max Murrah? How you doing, brother?
Shit, I cannot hear you. I have to leave. I'll be back in a second.
All right. I'll just do it again. There we go. So here's a story. Washington AP. So tasty. So tasty. The Kremlin could not have asked for better publicity at a better time when Ben Swan, a self-described independent journalist who promotes conspiracy theories, released a 12-part video series he promised would reveal dark truths about Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Swan's flashy documentary-style videos were filled with innuendo, attacks on Zelensky's character, and commentary from guests sympathetic to Russia in its 2-year war with Ukraine. It's been a much longer war than that, but we won't go into that. You can take this thing back to the 90s. And again, it's just because.
Hey man, sorry.
Yeah.
My output. My output was off. It was set to a. There's no echo on this, is there?
No, I don't have any echo.
Good. Yeah.
How are you doing, brother?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Cheers, man. I'm drinking coffee. You're drinking your evening beverage beer.
No, it's not beer. This is tea.
Oh, water.
No,
Looks
barley.
Like barley tea. Yeah, I love it. So what's been going on, Max? So I saw your video you released. That was pretty good.
Which one?
The one about this guy right here. This guy right here.
Oh yeah, I found some copyright-free banjo music to go with it. It was by a guy named Kevin MacLeod, and he did 51 seconds, and he called it Corn Cob. So I thought that is highly appropriate for a moment like this. It was video from the video from the IDF, and
was it?
So it's their drone that went into the second floor.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I actually didn't know what I was looking at, so I didn't see the person
at first.
He was
sitting there,
embedded in the furniture, and
you
see what happened was last night. Was it today? I I have a friend in New York. I used to work with him when he was he's working for Bobby Valentine. He works in baseball, but he's also a writer. Like he's a former baseball writer. Anyways, he sent me 2 photos of the guy you're looking at, right? Except he looks
Yeah.
quite different. But
Yeah.
I didn't know there was no explanation. I didn't see the article. He's also an editor at the New York Post. Oops, I outed him. Anyways, but what he sent to me on a message to a friend was, "This is my Halloween costume." So I mean, I just kind of looked at it and I thought, um, oh, I've done, stage makeup and stuff, and I thought, oh, that is him. So, and I just kind of made a joke. I said, oh well, New York City has really gone to pot, fentanyl crisis and all. And then, ha ha ha. And then when I woke up and I started looking at the news, I said, oh, those are the photos from the dude they took, after
Yeah.
but he looked like my friend, actually. Well, my friend doesn't have a hole in his head, but
True.
he kind of looked like him. So I was confused, and that really that then I saw the IDF video, and I thought that's really cool. So it was the 45th Battalion of the IDF Army, and they were tracking these guys, and they saw the guy Sanwar, and he went in. They shelled it, and I think they put the drone in then into the second floor.
Just to see if there was anybody in there. We clear out the space.
The guy already had been shot in the arm or in his right hand, and then you see him slowly try to pick up a stick, and he tried to hit the drone. Drone flies away. So what they did was, all they needed was a drone. It wasn't one of those killer drones. It was
right.
They just knew enough to shell them some more. And then when they went in the next day, I think they did the check and everything, and it's the same guy.
Yeah.
And, I'm trying to figure out. He was wearing a watch, and somebody said, "Oh, if that's the watch he was wearing, this is one of the matches." I said, "That doesn't match with the watch he was wearing. He was wearing a kind of a nice watch, in previous photos, but that one looked a bit tactical. It kind of looked like a G-Shock,
Yeah.
So I think it's a G-Shock. Yeah.
Everyone's morning is good. Good to see you, Roxanne. Good to see you. Debbie Webb's like, hey, Max Murrah.
Oh, hi, Debbie.
Love. Sending me love.
So I was, I think this is a good morning. Now, it was also, what was it? According to the Jewish calendar, because they're doing that Sukkot, the holiday, until it kind of matches, according to the Jewish calendar, about 1 year to the October 7th, But that's good enough.
Well,
give or take a day.
So what was really interesting is last night had a really good stream. It was we had a few trolls come in, and I went over to MG's and it was basically watching the same thing that I watched last night on my channel. So I was like, I'm gonna go get some sleep. Yeah. And I logged off and was setting up my stream, and I was looking for articles, and I'll be damned, it's like it was like all the freaks were out last night. And then of course my dog got up, as soon as my wife was still up. She goes, I couldn't, and she's usually dead asleep, but she's like 10 o'clock. She's out like a light. So me showing up to bed at like 12:30, she's like still awake. I was like, you okay? She was like, yeah, I'm not tired. And we literally it just turned off the lights, probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. Turn off the lights, and all of a sudden, yeah, exactly. The dog goes ape shit, starts attacking something out in the yard, and I get up and I have to chase. It was just a possum that was out there screwing around. And we come back in, and I'm like, what in the I turned to my wife. I was like, is it a full moon or something? And she goes, well, I thought it was bright out there. And she goes, I didn't really think about it because it's late. And she pulls it up, and she's like, it is a full moon. I was like, holy crap. No wonder it's weird. Yeah. Yesterday, just a strange day.
Yeah. Did your dog catch the possum?
No.
Yeah, there was Oh, there was a news story earlier this week in Japan. A 37-year-old Spaniard, I forget his name, Alexandro or something, Rao. What was it? It was kind of funky name. Anyways, he was flying from Thailand to Japan, and in his suitcase he had 16 kilograms of cannabis oil, and the dog is a black lab named Momotaro. That would be like Peach Boy. So this black lab found it, and my friend's site, tokyoreporter.com, he did the story in English, and I put it out there. It was on Reddit, and got a lot of hits. It got a lot of commentary because it was a dog. Everyone was interested in the dog. Of course, there were some haters out there. Some people said that's why I don't like dogs and I like cats, because cats don't snitch on you with drugs. But I think I pipped in because I said, "Hey, look, we have to think of all the social issues, and Max is trying to be a DEI trainer, trying to be woke. Maybe it's not too late." And so I said, "Remember, the lesson we can get from here is there's always a lesson. Auntie Kamala is always trying to tell us the parable, the coconut." So I said, "What's Max's? What is it? Black Labs Matter." That's
Black Labs Matter. Let's see it in the chat. Black Labs Matter. Make sure you put the you have to have the right color fist up too.
Pause.
For that one.
Come on. Pause.
Pause. So I have not heard about this guy because I don't. Everyone says, "Oh, right wing media," and Swan did this series called Zelensky Unmatched. In April, as Congress was debating increasing military assistance to Ukraine, it quickly caught the attention of conservative social media influencers who hyped the project to their millions of followers. Among those who promoted the series was Donald Trump Jr., former president's eldest son, curious about the billions of dollars in weapons Congress sent to Ukraine. Trump Jr. posted on X, "You need to watch the first episode of this 12-part series. Unlike the conservative media personalities who last month expressed shock upon learning that they've been secretly financed by the Kremlin." Really? See, I keep hearing these kinds of things, and I would say that that while people believe that they may be influenced, I don't get any money from anybody except chat, and usually my stuff gets demonetized anyway. So, but anyhow, with that being said, I guess it was Tim Pool and a whole bunch of other people's, I guess, that are signed up to some conglomerate is receiving money or funding from
Tenant Media in Nashville.
Yeah.
And there's Lauren Chen and her husband. They're both principals.
Right. And so you've got that, but then you tend to miss that the people on the left are being funded by Iran. Like all of the people that are showing up doing these anti-Palestine or anti-Israel promotions, a few congressmen like Tlaib, what's her name, the one that had sex with her brother or whatever.
Lives with Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, Ilhan Omar. Yeah. Now those people are being funded by Iran, and it's amazing to me that the AP would report this, talking about it, because me not being funded by it was able to track down and see where the money was coming in and out of Ukraine from the United States. It was being filtered through a lot of congressmen, senators, on both the left and the right. It's not just one side. They're being funded by Ukraine. Money that's being sent over there, oligarchs, which oligarchs are Russian. Oligarchs are in Ukraine also. A few of them have been busted, like leaving the country with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of euros and other foreign currency. They've been stopped trying to get into the EU, and have I mean, it's like it's running rampant there. The amount of money that's being filtered and siphoned out, and they're purchasing Bitcoin. You heard about the one in, what was it, California? I read about this yesterday. It was a international drug smuggling ring where they found like a whole bunch of cocaine and methamphetamines in a like a $4 million mansion in California, and they were filtering it into Canada, and I mean it's like massive.
Hmm.
Like in the middle of the night, they came in and raided this place and just shut it down. And I mean the lawsuit on it was unbelievable. Adventuri or something like that, California, I think is what it
Oh,
was.
sure. Okay.
Well, no, Williams Island. That sound maybe that's in California. Williams Island.
Oh, Ben Swan. You know what? He used to work at RT before the U.S. forced Russia Today to shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm looking at his thing, and he also, I think, he worked at a number of television stations in where he's from in El Paso, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know which one, KDBC or KFox, or maybe it's KTSM. You know what? I don't know if she's around. I mean, I think she decided to leave the internet, whatever. But do you remember Fair and Balanced?
Yeah, yeah. I remember Farron.
She worked. She worked for KTSM, I think, for a brief period of time in El Paso. You know,
That's possible. Yeah, I think
so,
that's right.
but
Because she was in Arizona, wasn't she, for a period?
oh no, Arizona. Okay, I thought it was tech. Like she's from Illinois, Indiana, the El Paso. Then she did something in Michigan. But RT was like she was at RT. Um,
Yeah.
so she would have been at RT the same time he was. I'm pretty sure, and maybe that's even how she got connected with RT. I don't know, but
Well,
yeah,
and
that
that's
was
the thing. You can
yeah,
be connected with one of these things and not even know it. You know, you're
yeah.
a lot of people are just going, I'm just going to sign up for this thing. I mean, you think about it, you know,
Well, there's an RT
how
video. There's an RT documentary on Japanese organized crime,
mm,
and my real name's on there because I was one of the sources. So, well, does that make me a Russian operative or no?
no.
They were RT was out here several years ago, and they wanted to do kind of a trite piece on Japanese yakuza. So
Yeah.
the fixer, whatever, the runner, I don't know what you call them, but they want to know, hey, do you know any real yakuza we can interview? And I went, I don't know. Yeah, we can talk to these guys. They're former yakuza.
Yeah, because it says right here, registered agent Swan filed paperwork with the Justice Department 2 years ago to register one of his companies as working for the Russian state media. In an interview with the AP, Swan said he has kept his work for Russian interests separate from what he produces for U.S. audiences. He has done this, Swan said, by operating two companies, one that generates content for Russian media, the other produces independent journalism like Zelensky Unmasked for U.S. audiences. The only connection is that I own both companies. The AP, however, found that there was some overlap in how the two entities operated. A handful of guests on Zelensky Unmasked also appeared on RT shows produced by Swan. According to a review of RT's video archives and records filed with the Justice Department, Swan shows for the U.S. audiences RT also have similar themes. The Zelensky series, for example, echoed Russia's state media messaging that Ukraine president is he is a autocrat. He's a dictator.
Yeah.
He declared martial law in his country, so I don't
Swan
know where they're getting that from.
Swan is a bona fide investigative journalist. I mean, he started in he went to Brigham Young University and then also California State. But here's the thing: he did register at what I think under. So if you are working for a foreign interest, I'll say this: it costs you nothing, but failure to do so can result in a felony, and so that is the under FARA, Foreign Agents Registration Act.
Yes,
it's a pretty simple thing, and I know of there are people out there. For example, let's see one thing. I mean, he's considered. You remember Richard Armitage, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, better for worse. I don't know with Armitage. You know, he's done some good stuff and whatever. But end of the day, I was. I'll tell you how I found it too. He'd been getting paychecks from the Japanese government. The Japanese government would pay him out of JETRO, Japan External Trade Organization in New York.
Okay. Yeah.
anywhere from $270,000 on average to $450,000 a year. The transactions would go from Jetro, which they registered, they filed as they operate in the United States, and then they would go to different offices, not his name, but they would be in, like, Arlington, Virginia. So I'm familiar with that. They would be in Clarington, and they'd be Sweet, whatever. So they match. And so a lot of these guys who often receive it, one is they don't feel necessary to report it, and they're pretty confident in that they don't need to, no one's going to find out because they're using one of their many consulting companies and shell companies, right? But the counterparty, Jetro, will sometimes just puts it out there. That's how you find it. That's how you also detect tax evasion. So the only time when it stopped, interesting, when the payments kind of stopped temporarily, it had a chilling effect. It was 2017.
Really?
2018, 2019, 2020, and then they resumed again. When Trump was in there, they don't need these. They didn't. They figured, well, they're wasting their money. He wasn't giving them enough. Yeah. But he's still getting it. Yeah. And then that was an interesting thing with Armitage. He I won't talk about that one. It was it was, but there's a guy, like, he'll be in town next week. He's a former U.S. Navy admiral. And remember, Japan's not an enemy country even, but it's an issue. For example, in 2018, you had these things where, as an ally, as a partner, you want Japan to pay its share of defense expenditures. And so, as a percentage of GDP, which is a bona fide metric, Japan was one of the lowest. As a percentage of their GDP, they were contributing very low to the U.S.-Japan security alliance.
Right.
Now, on an absolute level, it's a lot of money, right? So at the time, you had former Admiral Dennis, whatever, what's it, Greer? I'll go back and check his name. Anyways, he's putting out op-eds going, we should really thank Japan for its contribution, and it's grown, and it's this much insignificant. And that was really unhelpful because he was doing it. It was even unhelpful, I would argue, to the Abe administration, because they would, like, in his case, if you're talking about the whole military industrial complex, yeah, you definitely want to have at least an excuse to say Japan needs to up its military spending,
Right.
And so I knew this guy, and he's flying down. He's coming in after the election. There's going to be the annual Fuji summit, whatever. And so you just see these shills, and so I'm not even talking about countries that we're hostile to. It's in and around. Now, with FARA, I don't have the sites, but you can look up the registration, right? Because of the internet. Mm-hmm. I have a friend, he's maybe in his 70s right now, Jim Foster. He went to Notre Dame, he did his PhD at University of Washington, and when his first job was he was interviewing on K Street. He had a PhD in Japanese politics and economy. And I think he got his first job with Edelman, which is based in Chicago. And he tells them, well, this is my background, and you guys represent the Japanese electronic manufacturers, of course. And they freaked out in the interview. He said, like, how do you know that?
Because we look.
He kind of pointed out, it's in the register. I mean, in those days, it's physical. You had to go into whatever the library and you look it up. There wasn't internet or stuff like that. But
and that's that is the that is the beauty of the internet in a sense that you can find all of this stuff out. Now, how many times have you heard Camel Toe talking about these 16 Nobel economic laureates that
yeah. So another
I'll
bunch of
show
them are British or they're foreigners. Just like the
because
Labour Party, the British Labour Party they're bragging about campaigning in the U.S. to support the Harris Walz,
yes,
and I'm going,
I saw
how
that
is
too.
that allowed?
Because they get away with it. I mean, here, and I looked at this because I was like 16 Nobel economics letters, signed this letter about risk to U.S. economy of a second Trump presidency. And then I looked up all of these companies right here: Evercore, Alliance, Oxford Economics, and the Peterson Institute. And then whenever I start looking into them, they're all left-wing propaganda boosted companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so they keep touting this as something, and then of course you have USA News that'll say, well, there's 16 US laureates, and you'll have the AP say it. You'll have all of the MSNBC. They keep touting this thing off, and nobody ever shows it. And AP finally, after I don't know how long, said this is where she's getting this from, because it was under one of their fact checks or something like that. It was buried under a completely different story about telling people how they should spend their money. Not to be on Cash App, not to use Cash App because it's bad and evil, and because any other way of having money go to people or transferring money back and forth really hurts the banks. And I was explaining this to people, just like, you don't realize that whenever your money goes into a bank, you don't own that money anymore. That money is gone. It is all that money is used to hand out loans to people so they can purchase houses and cars and take out loans on their businesses. Like, that money is gone. It goes back into the system. And it's a lot of people don't realize this, but if you had everyone for Bank of America, every single person from Bank of America came in and tried to withdraw their money, they would shut down the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the government would step in before that happened, and they would shut down the bank because you don't own your money. It's gone. It's back. It's flooded right back into the system.
I'm
You loan that money
Um,
without interest. Exactly. That's a savings and loan scam. Exactly. But that's how it goes.
I'm going to send you something.
We'll give you.
I subscribe to this too. Do you remember? I don't remember the numbers, but remember how, was it Kamala or was it Biden? They were talking about the X number of former Trump cabinet, not ministers or whatever, members of a cabinet who were against him, right?
Oh yeah,
And
I remember hearing about that.
Now, here's the thing. My friend is Christian Whitten. He was a national security advisor under, I don't know, maybe Bush. Anyways, he has a site. Christian is in the Whitten, Whiton. So he just came. This was a petition that I knew about, but it was hundreds of national security leaders endorsed Trump. So actually, it sounds kind of convincing, especially you have General Miley and all these other guys saying, "Oh no, Trump is like a fascist." And the letter was hundreds of people who worked in the field, and so this is from national security from Nixon through Trump, and that includes 25 cabinet or equivalent officials like Pompeo, even Poindexter, Nikki Haley, Ed Meese, and then they had those Gold Star families, those 13
Yes.
who were killed in Kabul. You have 40 retired U.S. ambassadors, and then you have several hundred others. These 75 retired senior military officers, right? So there was a former national security advisor, O'Brien.
Max, I had no idea your name was Ivan, former deputy senior director for Asian affairs. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Oh, you got it. Okay, good. I sent it to you. Okay, good. You're reading.
Yeah, I'm showing it on the screen. I should be.
It is extensive. They're all American. They're not foreigners.
Yeah, they are.
Trying to tell you
I was just giving you a hard time. Rear Admiral Kubik, a national security. I mean, it just goes on. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages of people that are supporting
So
Trump.
there was a national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, and then there's also a former NSC chief of staff, Alex Gray. They produced it. They kind of directed it. And
Oh, and these are the cat. This is the cat. That was just those 10 pages. You
Yeah.
have all of these people doing it also.
yeah,
Yeah, Pompeo, Munchin, Barr, Meese, O'Brien. Yeah, right there, Ambassador O'Brien. Good Lord, Rick Perry, Robert Wilk.
and really,
John
this is
Ratcliffe.
very just specific, just with national security and defense. I mean, what I was saying, it wasn't including other areas that could be similarly high.
Yeah.
It was it's
Abbey
really
Gate.
focused and extensive. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Abbey Gate right there. Yeah, it's more than that. It's more than what I thought. I just stopped at the foreign affairs, but you get right here, and it's on page 2. So 2 through 19 is nothing but the people that are supporting him.
Yeah.
It is insane. It
wasn't just like, oh yeah, you guys are just scrabbling up, in a desperate thing, and you got like 14 people. No, this is huge. And
yeah.
There's another one going around which affects my friend. So he's saying, should I put it to it? And I said, yeah. I mean, like, who's running it? But I realized this had value, because it just the depth of the people, and also,
AOC is an idiot. Yes. Yeah. She's but this is pretty typical of how people are easily duped into this stuff. I mean, politics, everyone looks at politics as being, oh, well, you got your president, your vice president, and then you've got, these senators and congressmen. No. Politics goes much deeper than that.
I technically worked for somebody that Trump fired and is very outspoken against Trump.
Yeah.
Can you guess who he might be?
No. Let me,
okay.
I mean, you can have tons of them.
The shortest ever tenure of any White House official. 11 days.
That's right. God,
he's from the same neighborhood. From the same neighborhood as Trump. Trump was born in Jamaica Hospital in Queens, New York.
God, I'm trying to think who the fuck it is. Because I've
and one of the quotes he thought was going to be off the record was, "I'm not Steve Bannon trying to suck my own dick." Anthony Scaramucci.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. What? Just
press
a few
secretary.
days.
The press secretary. I think it was 10 or 11 days.
Yeah. I mean, how many press secretaries did he go through before he ended up with the little hottie that's over on Fox now?
Oh,
it was like,
yeah. Something Sean. Damn.
No, it's a female. The female. Yeah, she was his last press secretary, and then she got a job over on Fox News, I believe. Oh Jesus.
Oh, Kelly something.
Yeah. Her. Yeah, she was.
Kayleigh McEnany. That was her? No? Yeah, McEnany. Okay.
Yeah, she was she was, I think, the longest sitting press secretary, but she was on fire. Every time she would show up, like, they could not rattle her. Like, they would start asking like the most asinine questions, and she'd just like flip that binder open, and she'd have it all tabbed up, and she'd just be like, boom, 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 and just like knock them down every single time. I was like, good Lord. I mean, that's using your resources to its maximum, because they were fighting. During Trump, they were fighting such a disinformation campaign that you never knew where they were going to come swinging from.
Also Sarah Huckabee Sanders was press secretary too.
Yeah.
After Sean Spicer.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
Yeah, there was.
I guess Stephanie Grisham too. Grissom, but I don't recall much of Stephanie, honestly.
No,
So,
like I said, some of these didn't last very long because
no, she did
they
like
couldn't.
200 something days. I don't. I mean, no, they actually were like Sean Spicer. He did
Yeah, Sean.
182 days. He
Yeah.
he went from July 20th to from January 20th, when Trump started, to about July, right up to July 21st.
Well,
Um,
and it's one of those where people tend to forget that some of these people that were in the press secretaries moved on to other things because that is not a fun job. I mean, think about this. Swan, he fired from Atlanta station in 2018 after promoting that Pizzagate conspiracy that Democrats were abducting children to serve as sex slaves. Oh yeah, that'll get you fired. He has since become a social media star who portrays himself as someone daring to ask uncomfortable questions on tough topics. He
yeah,
said,
but
let's see.
part of that Pizzagate thing I remember was, I think it was, damn it was WikiLeaks, and they leaked at the time. They had the emails of John Podesta. He was
Mhm.
the Obama's campaign manager, and what was he, chief of staff as well, just like Rahm was at one point, and he was a dean of Georgetown Law at the time. So he used a similar email config like I did, and that was easily hackable. It's off a Gmail platform. Um, and there were weird things between John and Tony, um, including pizza and some other stuff. So there was something there. Although I'm not going full whatever on adrenochrome and all this sort of stuff, but there's some weird stuff.
Well, and here, influences use nearly identical language to promote this series. Well, that's how you get the word out on any of these. Where did 100 billion of our tax dollars that Congress sent to Ukraine go? Watch Zelensky unmasked to find out. Well, I didn't never even heard about. See, this is the thing. I never even heard about this guy, or I probably would have watched this. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, I did the research and tracked the shit back. It wasn't me. I mean, Jesus. This is why the AP and their BS is just doesn't fit. Jenna Ellis, young creator, right-leaning Talking Points USA. Is there maybe an alternative motive for you being against Ukraine? Potentially, he said, but I would stress myself out so much if I researched every single person in the industry that thoroughly, to be honest. Yeah, you would stress yourself out. This is why a lot of people don't dig into it any further, just because, I mean, you have to understand, Sam Bankman-Fried, okay? You can trace this back. You can trace all of that money back that he was getting funded by U.S. congressmen and senators, and even our current president and his son. You can trace all of that back to Zelensky, because you have to remember there was Hunter Biden was over there in Ukraine doing deals. He was doing deals with Ukraine and Russia, and everybody's like, "What? No, that can't be true." That's why whenever his laptop came out, they said, "Oh, this is Russian disinformation."
Oh yeah, I think it was New York Post was one of the first
Yeah,
to bring that up. It's funny. Larry's not listening, but Larry went back to editing or sports or whatever, New York Post. But he's been in New York City for a long time, and in order to continue to get laid, because he's not gay, he's adopted a kind of a woke mindset. Sorry.
yeah,
Um, and so he dislikes Trump and
yeah.
was
That's
saying a lot of stuff. But then I was saying, we both, two friends, we told him, he said, "You're going to the New York Post, and they're not, make sure you keep your job. Like nothing's worth, fighting over, and so get with the program." And so today, this morning message with the dead terrorist, I
yeah,
think it told me that
Been talking to
Larry is doing well.
been talking to a lot of voters, and I will just say that you texted me right around the Democratic convention, and you said, I am talking to people, and Kamala Harris has a problem with black men.
Yeah, and I told the campaign I did not hear from them. I mean, who am I for them to get back to me? But there's a problem. And look, I went from battleground state to battleground state. When they invited me to the convention, I didn't just want to fly there. I said, I'm gonna go and talk to voters in battleground states, and I did. It was not curated. I went up to people just doing man on the street. I said, who are you going to vote for? Black men. And time after time after time, they said, I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Why?
Now, their reasons why. They said, because most of the time they said, well, for economic reasons, right? Or because he gave me a stimulus check. And I had to correct them over and over and tell them where that stimulus check came from a Democratic Congress and from Nancy Pelosi. And that Donald Trump actually held the check up so that his name could be put on the check. So they think they got the check directly from him. Meanwhile, Joe Biden has given 1 or 2 stimulus checks as well, but they seem not to know and understand that. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for, but the reasons that you're going to vote for them, I think that they should be accurate and factual, and you should know why you're supporting someone.
Again, see, it's the left has been ramping this up because they're losing that big voting block. Like this right here. So think about this:
black men.
Black men, black women.
Mm-hmm.
And
now,
it's like, I mean, here's the simple thing: 120.5 thousand views. Watch Vice President Harris and Mark Cuban speak at La Crosse, Wisconsin. Elon Musk speaks at Town Hall in Folsom, Pennsylvania. 6.6 million views. I mean, that's just insane. But I'm going to play these 5 greatest hits, and I'm going to go grab a cup of Java. I will be right back, Max. This is going to be good.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz.
Yes.
Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is childcare, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
That was glorious. I mean, if you didn't see it last night, the Al Smith dinner he nailed it each time. But, and like I said to everyone, if you do watch, you'll notice that Trump does ramble quite a bit, but that's Trump's style. Mm-hmm. A few times he would go off. You could tell when he was going off script. Mm-hmm. he would hit that certain pace, but Gaffigan was pretty damn funny. Did you watch any of that?
Yeah, I saw the clips. I didn't see the whole thing from beginning to end. The
Democrats have been telling us Trump's reelection is a threat to democracy. In fact, they were so concerned of this threat, they staged a coup, ousted their democratically elected incumbent, and installed Kamala Harris. In other words, all her dreams have come true. Really? It really makes you consider the power of prayer, right, Cardinal? Sometimes prayers take 3.5 years and a George Clooney op-ed. Yeah.
Just like, good Lord. Oh. But Here's
I
it's
got I don't think you have time to read it. I just sent you two recent reports from James Rickards. Um, it's one of his subscription newsletters.
okay.
But you can read it later. But it's uh, in order. But it's on kind of an analysis of the polling of the data
Hmm.
and what to look at, and it's not bad. I'm just like he's talking about the problem with polling, and like for example, national election, things have no meaning because America does not elect their leaders based on national. It's electoral college, so it makes more sense to look at the states that might be up for play, right?
Right.
Called swing states and things like that. And then even when you're looking at polls, a lot of the ones that are being pointed out, they're not even they're uh, they're tiny. They're garbage. He says. Like there's one with registered voters using only 801 respondents, and so the sampling error was plus or minus 3.5 percentage points. And so to
Jesus.
get a statistically valid poll, you need at least 1,300 respondents. That gives you a decent result. Anything less is you're going to have a huge margin of error and is going to be of little value. And also, when you say sample of registered voters, it also tends to be garbage, he says, because almost half of registered voters don't actually vote. And then
Right.
their list of registered voters, they include dead people, people who have moved out of a jurisdiction, illegal immigrants who are illegally registered by Democrats, Um,
Well,
so,
that doesn't happen. We
yeah,
know that
yeah,
nobody ever would do anything illegal here, and
yeah.
just we'll
So
throw up our disclaimer there.
they average. So as a result, what you often see is you oversample Democrats, in terms of and whether they're purposely dishonest or they're stupid, I don't know. So you see another thing is representation of black voters. So in the Democrat sample, so blacks are about what 12%. We're talking about voting eligible, about 12% of the U.S. population,
Oh
and they
yeah.
vote about 85% Democratic for Democratic Party. That's true. There's differences on gender and things, but if you raise the black sample to 20% instead of 12%, and then you apply the 85% preference, then you're just totally skewing the results in favor of Democrats by 0.7%, right? Do the math. I'm Asian, right? So
Yeah.
that's huge in a really tight race. This is what Jim is pointing out. So
Well, we were talking about
yeah,
a minute ago we were talking about Pizzagate. Listen to this
yeah.
one.
People who were struggling making it day to day. I'm in those fights, but I think crypto ought to have to follow the same rules as everybody else.
Briefly, I wish Senator Warren would attack inflation the way she attacks crypto. I wish she would attack securing the border the way she's focused on crypto. She's so focused on crypto. She had the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase available for questioning, and they had financed the largest child sex trafficking operation in history with Jeffrey Epstein. And Senator Warren didn't ask a single question. She wanted to talk about crypto because she's so hyper-focused. Now, I know that because I was raped as a child for a period of 2 years, I might be a little more sensitive to those child rape victims. But I want to ask Senator Warren, why would you not ask one question? J.P. Morgan Chase settled for $290 million to these rape victims. They had to settle with the U.S. Virgin Islands. And Senator Warren doesn't ask a question. You want to know why? Because a former Democrat president's involved, because her donors are involved, because people that she knows are involved. Again, loyalty to an agenda, loyalty to a party. I come in and I want transparency on everything. I'd like her to answer the question on behalf of all those rape victims, though.
So, look, I have stayed after the banks. I have stayed after the regulators that regulate the banks. I have done everything I humanly can to try to get more fairness into our financial system. What I don't hear Mr. Deaton talking about is what is the return on investment?
Just like that was her response to it. That was her response. Yeah, Roxanne, I don't trust him either. I've never answered a poll, and I always vote. Yeah. Well, you're not the demographic that they're looking for. You have to remember that. Dude is prejudiced against Native Americans. What? Dude is prejudiced against Native Americans. Rawr! Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
Warren, I can't stand her. She's
No, she's BS. She's just absolute garbage. Dropping all of those out of here.
Why is my oh, I gotta shut down some of my browsers. There.
Oh God.
WhatsApp Signal is up.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that you were having issues, and I said something about this yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? That and I don't know where I saw it at. It was on, I think it might have been CNN, but there was this guy that was on there, and he started talking because they're losing so badly against the they're losing so bad against the Senator Warren is absolutely evil. And oh my God, for a moment I thought it was Mo talking. Yeah, Poca Seamus. They were that they see that the black communities are coming out in droves to vote for Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And the past, what was it? It was about a week ago that I believe they were on CNN, but I picked it up probably 3 or 4 days ago. And I wish I would have saved it because it was just like, oh great, more rhetoric. But whenever I went back and looked at it, what this CNN report, it wasn't a report, it was a guest that they had on there, was warning in these black neighborhoods that the Democrats were going to attack polling places and burn them down. That you know, the right wing people were coming for you. And I was just like, yeah. And I wish I knew which. It was like MSNBC, CNN, or something of that sort. And I wish I would have saved it, because I was like, more than likely they wiped it from the internet really quick, because if something like this does happen, to me it sounds like it's not going to be right wing that does this. And I say that because of this right here. All right, this comes rolling into my feed, and then, you know, and you see the Yahtzee flags and all of this, and then all of a sudden you see this.
Hail Trump! Hail
Trump! Yeah, there's paid actors that are coming out and they're doing these kinds of things. Yep. They're paid shills. They're being paid for not just by Camel Toe, but they're being paid for by Iran. They're being paid for by Saudis. They're being paid for by Ukrainians. They're being paid for by all people that are against Trump. This is the political machine, and it sucks, but just don't trust whenever you hear the news come running out and saying things. And I'll the reason I preface that is because of this. You know who Hernandez is, right? He's a right-wing media influencer. Mm-hmm. So this is what came out from him right here.
An economy that's very good for folks at the very top, but not always so good for ordinary people.
Like you, Obama. Why do you
communities where too many kids are you going to start yelling? You know,
see, whenever people do this and they show up and they start protesting at one of these places, it's like, and then they'll come back and they'll say, oh well, see, we got thrown out of this rally. The left and the right both do that. That's why I'm just like, if you hear somebody in the crowd screaming like this, they don't have a good argument. Like and as somebody said, I think it was Benny Johnson on the preface of that, says Obama isn't used to getting heckled like this.
Hey, who's Benny Johnson?
I don't know who Benny Johnson is.
The reason why is I follow him on Twitter, and he comes up with interesting things. But then I just was going like, is it somebody that I met on one of these streams and then I, followed, or did it just come up on Twitter? I don't know. But
No,
yeah,
it's one of those things. Depends on what you're following. That it comes up on comes up on Twitter. You know, and I'm always skeptical whenever I see a lot of these news stories that
oh,
come
he's a
out.
columnist. Okay, yeah. So I've
Yeah,
read his stuff, and he's a
yeah,
YouTuber.
yeah.
Okay, that's where. Now I know.
Well, that's why I'm saying whenever I see these things, I get really suspicious of them. Just because I'm like, is this someone just? Oh God, what is one of them? You remember Gary Lamb, right? Okay,
No.
so back I want to say this was during 2020, during the presidential run. There was this guy Gary Lamb that did a video with that Tim Pool picked up on, where he was talking about how hard he was working, how he's having a hard time making ends meet, and this was his schedule, and he was loading a truck up, and he does this little TikTok video or something like that, and gets all of these views, like a million views overnight off of this viral thing, and then it got promoted by Tim Pool, and then he started. I hadn't seen anything or heard from him, and then somebody that we know together, which would have been winning. Winning reality. So
Oh yeah, I like winning.
So he went on with winning because he was talking about Oklahoma, that there was an issue with their Section 8 housing and all of these
Oh wait,
problems.
now I know the name. Okay, that guy's a scammer.
Yes,
and
that's.
I, if I can, I'll discuss it. I know in somebody.
Oh,
so,
I know. We'll get into it. We'll get into
you
it.
know
Give
what?
me just.
I would just say, watch out, because you're. I don't know.
Well,
I don't want.
let me finish up what I'm saying here. Let me finish up what I'm saying here.
That's what the name is.
Yeah. So, whenever I see people coming out and they're putting these viral little posts out, and I'm prefacing it on this next one that I'm going to show. Whenever I see people come out with these things that end up going viral, I get very suspicious of them, and I really didn't notice it until Gary Lamb came out and did what he did, because he was running a GoFundMe, and next thing you know, he's got new YouTube equipment. He's supposedly broke and impoverished, and all of a sudden he's ending up with all of this extra equipment, and he's starting to stream more, and the housing problem just sort of went away. And it makes
the interesting thing is this, and I get challenged with it. No, that's not the case at all. I said he is was skilled at using the race card.
Yes.
And he's so skilled that it doesn't look like a race card. It's not when you say race card, it's like somebody saying, "Is this because I'm Asian or because I'm?" No, it's far more sophisticated. And the victim themselves will deny it. They'll say, "No, not at all." But absolutely, if I were to repeat the whole thing and change it, yeah. So, but for some reason, because I'm racist, probably. I'm kind of immune to that, and that's what you need to be. You need to be,
Benny is a commentator.
Yeah, Benny. Yeah, I just subscribe to him. He's
and that's why. That's why whenever and what I'm about to show you, that's why I'm prefacing it with, whenever I see people that try to go viral with these things, makes me suspicious, and this is the bad part about having someone that does grift that kind of way, that whenever you get the people that could be completely honest and truthful and doing things that they're trying to help their community out with, or speaking what they agree to be true, it makes you a little more suspicious, makes you go, are they really this way, or are they another Jack Murphy? Where Jack Murphy went from Democrat to deplorable, and then you find out that he's on, like, while he's promoting his book and showing up on Tim Pool all the time, that he's actually pegging young men, and Yeah.
Oh, he was also a con artist, a con man before he did this, and that was
Yeah.
he was working for an Obama initiative where they were, I don't know, privatization or consulting for public schools in Washington D.C. And he was a CFO. He took about $1 million in compensation, predicated as CFO. He said he had claimed a non-existent degree, a degree that doesn't exist from Georgetown University. He claimed he had a master's in international finance from Georgetown. And because I'm an alum, I can go into the directory and I check it and I go, no, he has a master's in Latin area studies. And Georgetown does not offer a master's in international finance. But, you know,
Oh.
it's that was one of the
So
things that was easy to find about John Goldman. That's his name.
yeah.
We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump.
So let me get this straight. If I vote for a party that can't define what a woman is, I'm no longer ridiculous or crazy. If I vote for a party that wants boys in my daughter's sports and restrooms, I'm no longer ridiculous or crazy. If I vote for a party that thinks they can pander to me using kente cloths and hot sauce, I'm no longer crazy. If I vote for a party that has done nothing but destroy my community for the last 60 years and open the borders in order to replace my vote and destroy my community further, I'm no longer crazy. If I vote for the party that wanted to keep me from voting, wanted to keep Jim Crow, wanted to keep slavery, the party of the Klan, I'm no longer crazy. And I'm no longer crazy or ridiculous if I vote for the candidate who's been in the office as vice president for the last 3.5 years and admitted to having a large part in pushing the harmful policies that have hurt my country, who can't answer basic questions and is quite possibly the worst candidate in American history, says she's going to bring change.
Now, I want to point something out that maybe Max will notice. Notice his hand.
Yeah. What is it?
What do you think that is on his hand?
That ring?
Uh-huh.
Is it a cup? Is it one of those black rings? I don't know. You wear them because you're into swinging? Because Nick had a couple of those. He used to wear Nick Rekieta wore those. Which was really weird. Because I wear a wedding ring on my right, I'm dyslexic, left hand. But if you wear it on that in that subculture with polykills and swingers, you would wear there's different signals of what you like to do. But and I'm not familiar with them. But yeah, wearing it on your right hand and black, those silicone rings, yeah, it's something to do with swinging. I don't know.
Yeah, I just happened to notice that. I was like,
yeah,
just interesting.
Change, while at the same time admitting there's nothing she'd change about the last 3.5 years, and made us the laughing stock of the world. And you think I'm the crazy one. I think it's crazy you think I should vote for a candidate based on skin color rather than how their policies will affect my life. It's pretty sick.
So, and that's why I wanted to. That's why whenever I pull up these things and people are just like, yeah, you go. Is it propaganda? Is it because if you dig into this guy, if you figure out who this is, which I don't have the time, because if I went and researched every single person that I saw, somebody,
which one? The Gary guy?
Yeah. Well, this guy right here. This isn't Gary. This is somebody else. But if you go and research these people before you give them all kudos and you start promoting them out, like find out who they really are, and you'll go, oh, I see the kind of person that you are. What's up, Savages? Jacob Castro, good to see you. He wrote for Breitbart, Blaze, and BuzzFeed. Yeah, Benny Johnson.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, I just there was see I when I was way back when Bobby Valentine, the baseball manager, one of the guys working for the team said, "Oh, you got to make a Twitter account," and the running joke was, he would say, "Hey, CJ," and I said, "My name is not the CJ." He goes, "Yeah, it's a CJ." No, he says CJ. He goes, "What are you talking about?" CJ, Chinky Eye Joe. And so that's the joke. But then when I was told to make a Twitter account, I thought, it's Chinky Eye Joe. And then I didn't realize, because I didn't really use it, but it was, you could tell it was shadow banned, and it was one of those sites. But then it kind of changed when, I don't know what was lifted, but but it was just kind of weird. I didn't do much with Twitter, but now I do. I kind of go on there and I I look at this. Jack Murphy. He's is he still around and doing his little what seminal? Is he the liminal order? But I kept on thinking of
Seminal
semen.
order. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, and it's because I think at one point, and I could be wrong on this, he actually shaved his beard off and started like doing other stuff. I don't know, something like that. I was like, and him and Eliza Blue were both regulars over on Tim Pool. All right.
Oh yeah, that was weird because Eliza Blue. That was for some reason
Because she
she
needed
grew
the
up
money.
in Rock Island. I know Rock Island in Illinois. They have a U.S. Army depot there too, and they have a courthouse. For some reason, when that kind of came on, the drama exploded on the internet. I thought, wait, I know that area. I think her dad was a local Republican state legislator or something.
Yes,
But,
and well, she ended up whenever they started digging into her, like because the internet does that. They go digging like freaking crazy. Or like, who the hell is this person?
Yeah.
And once they started digging into her, they found that she was, out touring with bands and bouncing from bed to bed and getting desperate because nobody was paying her any attention. And
so she creates this false narrative that she was a victim,
right,
a slave, and so it's
because that's who she was claiming was trafficking her around as she's following him around from place to place.
So you get this in all sorts of narratives. Like, look, I'm Japanese American, Japanese Canadian. I have families who were interned, but here's the thing: I've noticed even with my own family, I will catch them lying about the victimization thing. They'll say, I'll give you an example. Like, my own father was saying something like, I said, you were 3. There's no way you would have this memory. And it's very similar to the narrative that is by George Takei. Like, I know another guy in Discord, his family knows him. So he would have been 5 and he said, yeah, I had guns pointed at me, in camps. And no, there's a lot that just, but once in a while you get breath of fresh air. You get the late Norman Mineta. He was a Democrat. He was the mayor of San Jose, and he was a congressman from the 70s, and he was the Secretary of Transportation, both under Democratic and Republican administrations. He's a decent guy. So after the internment camp, he was in U.S. Army intelligence, so he was in Korea, but he spent time in Japan, and coming back over at Camp Zama. But one of the things I remember was, with him, he was 9 years old, and he was sent to a camp in Wyoming. But he's not bitching and moaning. I'll tell you what he bitched and moaned on, because it's a true story. 9 years old, family had to go to the camp in Wyoming. Like TSA, they took away his baseball bat. He was a Boy Scout, and he liked to play baseball. They took away his baseball bat because it could be a weapon. So he's kind of pissed off about it. But then he was also a Boy Scout, so the local troops, they came in, and he became lifelong friends with, Alan Simpson. He was a Wyoming Republican senator. Those two boys met each other because he was in a Boy Scout troop in Wyoming, and they met, so they knew each other. And then later, Alan Simpson, he's retired now, Republican senator. Anyways, when Norman Mineta became a congressman, one of his constituents sent him a baseball bat that belonged to Hank Aaron.
Nice.
But under the rules for members of Congress, that you can't receive gifts above a certain level, he was forced to give it back. And so at that point, Norman said, this is the second time the goddamn government has taken away my baseball bat. It was funny. I mean, he's not, like I said, he's not bitching and moaning and making up false narratives. And of course, they found a way for him to get the baseball bat, So nice. I was able to talk to him a couple years ago. A good friend of mine passed away, and then we're trying to get in touch with him and let him know. And he passed away like last year, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So I ended up calling him in Maryland, and I was really nervous, and we ended up talking for an hour. It's like crazy. And
he's spreading it about you. saying that tabloid stories about your personal life, saying it should be front and center. He's saying it about your wife and making incredibly crude and lewd suggestions about her past life. I'm just curious. I know I seem like a very zen, mindful person, but I think I'd be pissed off. And I'm just wondering, how do you all stay centered? How do you stay disciplined and not really go off and not really push back hard at these things?
We don't have time to be pissed off. We don't have time to focus on it. It's all a distraction. It's designed to try to get us off our game.
Does it get you off your game?
No. All we are doing, all we talk about is this election. We understand the stakes. We understand the responsibility.
What are
we
the
understand
stakes? What are the
stakes? Our very country, our future. What kind of future are we going to have?
So that was him being asked about slapping his girlfriend around.
Oh, not the nanny. Didn't he knock up the nanny? Something like that.
It's his ex-girlfriend. Kamala Harris has been asked about a recent accusation of his punching his ex-girlfriend, Jane. Yeah. It was like the Babylon Bee. Oh my God. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. Where in the hell is it? It was a bunch of the people from the Blaze got together and did a what is it? Wait, dudes, Harris, Luck. I think. Where is it? It was. Damn it! I will find it. I know who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Dave Landau that did it. Mm-hmm. It was so damn funny. Whenever I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's glorious." Let's see.
Wait, what was it? Maybe I saw this one too.
Dave Landau. There it is. I will see if I bet you he has it up somewhere. Oh, yep. Here it is. This is so damn hilarious. Yes. Here it is.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a macho man.
I'm a macho man.
I like ribeye steaks.
I lift barbell weights.
I can fit an entire can of Foster's in my mouth.
Anyways, you think I'm afraid to get my hands dirty?
You think I'm afraid of bears?
Bears.
Grrr. I'll tell you another thing I'm sure as shit not afraid of. Women.
All of my besties are women.
I mean, everyone in my book club is a woman.
Last year, I did a wine tour in Tuscany with women.
I'm physically attracted exclusively to women.
Ew, gross.
A woman wants to be president? Well, I'm man enough to give her my full-throated support.
You already had me at full-throated.
Because I'm man enough to raw dog a flight.
I'm man enough to raw dog an
Because I'm man enough to support women.
I'm sick of so-called men dominating, controlling, and belittling women.
That's what I'm here for. Hound me like a chicken breast.
I'm man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
You know, I'm not actually sure anyone wants to do that.
Put on a scary clown mask and tell me I ain't
Because I love women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Oh, that Tim. You should get tested.
Boy. That was kind of well made. That was good.
They did a great job with that. I was like, oh, that Tim. I guess you should get tested.
Oh. That was Tim Walsh.
Oh, man.
That was all that fake stuff. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I can't help it whenever whenever I see the silly people that want to go off on this, idea that everything is being promoted by one particular party or not, because you'll see it constantly where they're coming out and it's just like, well, I'm a black man, so I'm not voting for Harris and I'm putting my vote in for Trump. I'm just like, okay, does that really matter, or is this something that's put together by somebody just looking to get some views and clicks? Like I was saying
I see. They're getting for attention. Oh,
yeah.
Here, back on the interview with Fox, I posted this in your chat, but I said I realized something because I know a number of Democrats, or they have parents who are, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that have so much vitriol against Fox that they would never watch that interview.
Exactly.
They'll hear of that interview. They won't watch that interview. You couldn't drag them to watch it. They'll refuse to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to Drudge Report, and one of their top promoted articles was a review of that. And it was on Deadline or something. And it came out told us how Kamala showed this Brett guy, she totally dominated him and he was cowed. And you read it and you went into the comments and people are just going like, you did not see the same interview, of course. But I thought, okay, you know what this is good for? For somebody who will never watch Fox, that's all they need to read. And so you're not going to change them. But
exactly.
There are some people who might be swaying, who don't like. One guy actually, I believe it was an honest indication. He doesn't like Trump, doesn't like his personality, doesn't like the bragging, doesn't like the, what he sees as not. But he said he's the only one in terms of policy who seems sincerely putting Americans as a priority. I don't want to say America first because he wasn't putting out slogans, but he was saying that, and which was true. So those are the people, I think, where these conversations are going to be effective. Where if you could,
an asshole. Look at his haircut. Anybody with a haircut like that, he's an asshole.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. What's up?
That was that Weird Science?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Driving to court. It's early.
Well,
Sun's not up yet.
So, MG, have you ever talked with Max? Max, you ever talked with MG?
Yeah, we've been on here before, like just within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You guys need to sit down and do a stream about baseball.
I know.
I'm not watching so much baseball these days, but my friends are writing like a lot about Ohtani and stuff, and
yeah, dude is killing it this year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he not with the bookmakers. Or wait, that was not him.
Yeah.
That was
his handler.
Did you see how smoothly he pleads? He's like the interpreter, and I'm going like, oh, there is a lot. I just thought those transactions were completely all him. Nah.
Yeah.
That was. I think that was you think that the book he would go, yeah, he's an interpreter. We're going to extend him how much in credit? $8 million for no problem. Well, that was a bullet he escaped, and he'll probably never make that. Yeah. He'll never, and that's fine because he's I don't think like the late Pete Rose said. I got a little clip short. He goes, man. He goes, if I had an interpreter like Ohtani, he said, I would be scot-free.
Yeah. Exactly. Because we all know that it was Ohtani that made the bets, or at least told the guy to place the bets.
Yeah.
I have a happy palate cleanser for you guys.
Está lloviendo. Estás aquí tirado. Estás aquí con las chispis.
It's an otter.
Aquí andamos, los dos. Mira qué foto. Mirad qué foto de tontos. Yo sé que estáis viendo el vídeo y diciendo, ¿pero qué hace este? Pues aquí, pegándome un baño a las 7 de la tarde, que está cayendo aquí lo que no está escrito, y aquí con mi amiga. ¿Cómo estás, amiga? ¿Cómo lo llevas? ¿Bien?
That's kind of cute. Hey, I gotta get. Oh, it's Meme Cope. Josh's birthday. He's having a birthday stream.
Oh, excellent!
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So what's he got going on today besides his birthday?
I think it's the regular drinking stream. It's our Friday right now. It's right now.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
2100 on a
That's Friday night for you.
It's
Yeah,
Friday
it's
night
Friday
in
night.
Japanistan. Hello.
Hurrah,
But
hurrah.
I have to between that time. I have to go get dinner's ready. Probably we eat late in our house. Like
Yeah, it's
8
like
p.m., 9 p.m.
10 o'clock for you, isn't it?
No, it's 9 p.m. right now.
9.
9:02
Okay, 9. So you're only 14 hours ahead. I thought, for some reason, I thought you were 15.
See, look, 2 watches. Yeah.
One for his American half, one for his Japanese half.
Yeah.
No.
Well, see,
So
for
this
some
is-
reason, I thought you were 15 hours ahead instead of 14.
This is an automatic watch, so you have to shake it. So I keep it on my right hand. Oh,
So, yes. Yes.
it's true.
Keep it nice and charged.
How it works? It has
Keeps
a
it nice and
little
charged.
battery, and just shake it.
It glows. It has a glow in the dark face that you can see from space, but you know,
And this
he
is
keeps
the-
it charged up.
This is the Casio. It goes.
Oh, heard it.
Yeah, I heard it beep.
Started. He set the bomb off. Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
He's got about 5 minutes.
I don't know what I did. I pressed something.
He's about to blow. He's
Oh,
about
it's
to
gonna
blow.
be.
No, wait. It has a message for Hezbollah. Oh,
Oh yeah. Well, so these are pagers. So the next round's going to be watches going off.
It's totally unnecessary to be able to synchronize a watch with Bluetooth, but it has Bluetooth on it, which is stupid. It also has you can connect with 6 radio channels, and then you can do the automatic clock, the atomic clock thing. But when you get a totally useless feature like Bluetooth, it's unnecessary, and then you can't take it into a secure area because these Garmin's and these things aren't allowed.
Yeah.
But this is okay. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about that. You know, the next one will probably be like a cell phone with a time delay because they saw how well it worked with the pagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine them just dialing the number while and it's like got a like a 30-second time delay, and it starts out with a message in what is that? Whatever language that they're speaking, Arabic.
Yeah.
And then so it starts out with this Arabic message telling them it is time for blah 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 blah. As soon as they pick it up, it sets off that timer, so they're keeping it there and they're listening intently, and then all of a sudden, pow.
Yeah.
You could probably fit a little bit more explosive in a cell phone.
You know what I think they're going to do?
Well, they had already changed from cell phones because they had intercepted or somehow hacked their cell phones and figured stuff out. So that's why they went to the pagers.
Yeah, that didn't work. It says made in Israel. You might not want to be buying it.
Well, they were coming from Iran, and they figured out who the supplier was and infiltrated them, intercepted and swapped out, and either swapped out the phones or somehow got in there and installed the C4 and the explosives.
Oh my God!
And then continued on with the shipment to the terrorists. So yeah, they intercepted the supplier.
You know what someone was trying to, he's very pro Hamas, pro Hezbollah, and he said most of those people you're seeing and you're laughing about were physicians and doctors and EMTs, and I said no, bullshit. They were, but what they'll do next time with their procurement is for just in case the risk, they will give it out to preschool teachers and everything else. So they're going
because they don't give a damn about regular citizens,
and because the propaganda mind of how can I maximize victimhood is always running. You know, you can't make it, and yeah. So don't when you go traveling in there, don't say I got a great deal. Say,
Look at this great deal I got on this pager.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just. But Wi-Fi routers. Yeah, I mean plastics. They're great.
Yeah.
Big oil loves you.
But the fact that a lot of the guys kept it in their pockets and it went off, or they were like the Iranian ambassador to Lebanon. You know, he was reading the message. The message came up. It was the Unit 8200, right? That's so that all that stuff. The Unit 8200 in another way is I was going through this recent documentary, and they were in this case these were Palestinian Americans or just Americans who were working for Meta for Facebook, and they complained that in their case they were being like monitored, censored, and they explained how also the users of Instagram and FB were heavily, and which is kind of weird because normally you see them doing woke activities. But then when they said their CISO, which is Chief Information Security Officer, his name is Guy Rosen, and he was a senior. No, he's a senior guy in the IDF Unit 8200. I want
no shit.
Well, no shit. Like, and so you're dealing. So now he's in Tel Aviv. So now they're going like you have IG users and you have Facebook users, and they're being red flagged and stuff. And on top of that, their information, their geolocation, they go, no, we're not sharing that. Absolutely, Hey, you, America! I got this great, thing. Oh, we know where you are.
Yep. His name wasn't Mike Turner.
Oh yeah, there are two of them. One performed in the 1980s and the 90s for Falcon Studios, exclusively man-to-man entertainment.
And
the other one you're thinking of that you're more familiar was performed from 2004 to 2012 or 13, and it was abruptly cut. I don't know why, but there was a scare in the industry out of San Fernando Valley of actually HIV positive tests among male actors, and so and that spurred a little bit of additional legislation in California to say we have to have more proactive screening, testing. But also that puts on a blacklist. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what I'm guessing.
It's a crazy coincidence. There are no coincidences, so.
Well, yeah, and for example, like there's these medications that this guy's talking about, like Serostim, and I go, wait a minute, you can look it up right now, Serostim, and you'll go to the site for patients. It's almost exclusively for those unfortunate patients who are test HIV positive.
Well, that's why there was a mask mandate.
Oh, the monkey mask, monkeypox.
Yeah,
the monkeypox mask.
Yeah, so these things. I remember one of the first conversations. I was making a joke about steroids, right?
Yeah.
And I picked honestly a steroid at random. It was an anabolic steroid called nandrolone, but it also goes by decoderbalin. And this one person was very familiar with it. He said scornfully, "No, it's not decoderbalin." And I thought, why is he familiar with it? Well, if you look this up and you ask Mr. Google in 2008, and also, maybe it was more recent, whenever the supply, maybe it's 2018, when the supply of decoderbalin goes down, one very specific group in the community freaks out because even though there's tons of anabolic steroids out there in the market, decoderbalin, nandrolone, is the only anabolic steroid that seems to help those patients with what they call wasting condition, those patients who have HIV.
Yeah.
And so that's happened before, and they really lost their shit because to them it's life-threatening. And I said, that's interesting. That's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are no coincidences.
Just inject money into your veins like Magic
Yeah,
Johnson.
you gotta do that on South Park. Yeah, you just inject it directly into your veins like Magic Johnson.
It's magic. Wow. So those were. Oh, I tended to do like videos, like just reading articles by my friend Robert Whiting. He's an author and he writes about, post-war history and organized crime and baseball, actually. But I did one, maybe it was a couple months ago when this thing came out earlier around May, because people noticed a certain small-time lawyer in Minnesota, and they were looking at spots on arms and face, and they were thinking of it was a sign of IV needle use. And I said, no, it is not. And what I looked at was, I saw it as, I don't know if you know this, but when they did some testing, maybe 2005, maybe 12%, a very small percent, 5% of the U.S. cocaine supply was cut with levamisole. That's a cutting agent, which is real. It's actually an anti-parasitic veterinary powder, but they like it because people on the street with a visible eye can't tell it's cut, and also it gets you high on in itself. So people think, oh, I got really good stuff. So from that point, right now, probably 95% of the cocaine that one might buy in America has levamisole in it, and it's cut at the source in Colombia, and it's very popular. So then when I proposed that those spots marks might be from vasculitis from the levamisole, people said no, because they would Google, and Google would show you 3rd and 4th stage signs of vasculitis, which looks hideous. But if you look for, as Max did, first stage of vasculitis, people go, oh, it's matching. And I said, yes. So don't do drugs, kids. The street drugs in particular, they're contaminated. Would you lick a toilet seat? Well, okay, maybe you, but go away. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
There's some YouTubers that would do that just for the clicks.
Hey, everything's content.
No, it's not. Everybody
Well, it
believes
is.
That.
Everything is content.
Maybe just not good content.
Hey, there's like 2 billion users of people who watch YouTube in the world. There's somebody out there who's going to watch it.
Yeah. There are some people that will watch
unfortunately, yes. Holy camole! Hold it. Oh, I had a Russian. I'm not going to be able to eat it.
Not going to be able to eat it.
I'm going to look for Dennis Liotta. Okay, good. Is he related to that actor Ray Liotta? Yeah.
No relation.
He passed away. Okay.
No relation.
Yeah, he was it was like in all those mob movies. Now they don't come to, but Goodfellas. Wasn't he in Goodfellas?
Yeah, he was in Goodfellas. But this guy, no, not at all. And look into him, and you'll find out some really interesting stuff about. Just follow the money, I guess is the best way to say it. No, he's actually a really good guy. Just check it out, and you'll be quite impressed. Be quite impressed his resume. Imagine a professor that goes from very, very humble to where he is now.
Oh, you know what I did? I was, how my mind's kind of like I'm not thinking right, and instead of Dennis Liotta, I typed in Dennis Fauci.
That's so bad.
So I thought, oh no, you're not supposed to do that. But that's what I was thinking. I was going, did he come across Fauci? When
probably did. You worked all night to capture Russell Merck's Southern accent on the AI app. Total failure. Check my short. It's terrible. God. Everything is content. Toxins come out of the skin. Yeah. Toxins come out of every orifice. Just saying.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah. So that's I think That's weird. I mean, so we have not just you talked about Gary Lamb, but also basic they're out there GoFundMe scam artists.
Yeah.
Um, faking that they have some sort of terminal disease.
Yes.
So I put out articles on. There was a woman. She was an influencer, and I think unfortunately she wasn't actually given time. She was given probation. But
Yeah, that sounds
there's a
right.
lot of them out there.
Well, and it became very noticeable back whenever there was that homeless guy that this girl supposedly he gave $20 to me, and we did a GoFundMe and we raised all this money, and then it turns out that they were he was in on the scam, and then they shorted him the money and just basically spent it on their own stuff. It's just like, oh, that's so bad. That is so bad.
Yeah, but also especially with illnesses and things, like there are real people who are suffering, and there's legitimate ones. And so what it absolutely does is it makes you likely not to donate to a legitimate one because you're not sure.
Right.
I mean, not being sure. Sometimes you also not with donations, but there is another kind of fear. I remember when we had these Marines over in Tokyo because they were over in Fuji, and they had some time in Tokyo. And I remember, I was hanging out with 3 lieutenants that were my friend had said, "Hey, can you take care of them?" But there was an extra day because the ship was late. So then I met all his enlisted guys, and there was a Marine sergeant. His name was Chet. Or Chad, but he was big, he was huge. And we were in the Motown Club in Roppongi, but there's always these, I think they're Filipino transsexual prostitutes. But if you don't know, we know. And then, but there was Chad, and he was dancing with one of them, and I had to tell him, and I was really wasted.
It's a lady boy.
I said, and this is a long time ago. I'll tell you how long ago where this applies. And I said, it was, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I'm sure it's a guy. And he said to me, but Max, and he's like really wasted. So am I. What if you're wrong? Fear of missing out. What if you're wrong? And I remember that. What if you're wrong? Like he's, and I said something like, you still have don't ask, don't tell, right? Yeah. This is a problem. And anyway, what was amazing was at 12:30 they had to go from Roppongi to the New Sano Hotel where the bus was.
Yeah.
And people were trashed. And I don't think there's any group that I've known in my life that could get their shit together and they're out. Yeah, bang, they're out. And I was going,
they're
wow.
good.
That was crazy because they were crazy wasted, and they were out. They were done. And that was like,
well, and
wow.
that's you're talking about the lady boys. I was out in California with this band I was touring with, and they had been in Hollywood. This guy was he was from more like the Hills area. No, what was it? What is the I'm trying to think, like, because there's a lot of boats in that area of California.
Marina Del Rey.
Yeah, he was from Marina Del Rey. So the band that I was touring with, then this is before I started playing music. This is whenever I was just a roadie. They decided to play a joke on the bass player for the band because he was the kind of guy that you're sitting there, striking up a conversation with some chick, and he would come over and slap his arm around her and like just be all handsy all over him and stuff. And you're just like, dude, you're fucking creeping this girl out. Like, go the hell away. You're like screwing up. Like, me and this chick are getting along pretty well. He's just a dick. And every so often, the chicks would be just like, oh, tall, dark, handsome, let's go. They just run off. You're like, I didn't want to be with her anyway, whatever. So they decided to play a trick on him and took him to it was a drag queen kind of place where and I can't remember the name of it, but every like Tuesday it was
oyster.
It was something like, but it was normally just a regular bar, a regular club. But on Tuesday nights all the transvestites would come showing up, just hanging out, and so they took him in there knowing that these were dudes, and the drummer, strikes up with this really smoking hot blonde that's just like sitting there talking with him and chatting up with him, and he's like flirting with her and stuff, and this dude sees it and comes over there, puts an arm around him, and like is sitting there like because fake boobs, the breast implants and everything, and was just like, starts talking dirty to her, like, oh, the things I'm going to do to you. And the drummer was just like, well, I'll leave you two at it, and just sort of walked off. Well, he leaves with this dude, goes out to his truck that's parked out in the parking lot. He comes back in not even 30 minutes later. I mean, it was just
30 minutes.
5 minutes later. 5 minutes later comes in. Well, because they had been heavy making out. And he comes in and he orders 2 shots of tequila. And he takes 1 shot, washes his mouth out, spits it out, takes the other shot, downs it, and looks over at the drummer. He's like, "You're an asshole." He goes, "Why am I an asshole?" He goes, "I reached down and he was hung bigger than me." I was like,
an apple as big as his balls.
We did. So I used to go to that. It was the same bar in Roppongi, Motown, and I was there. We go drinking, and I was with the same guy, Larry, who's in New York. And we see something. It's almost like cliched. But there was a white, middle-aged guy, and I was guessing like a defense contractor from Iowa. First time to Asia. It says first time to Asia. And he's at the bar, and he's getting it on with these beautiful women. But because we live in Asia, we know that those are the tranny, not just tranny, but prostitutes.
Yeah.
And first, what he's doing, it must be, he's never been in Asia before, so it's like a dream come true. Not only is he getting along with this beautiful woman, but as corny as it sounds, we're buying him drinks. We're sending over drinks. And so like, it's going, and he's thinking like, charisma, man, this is my dream, like, and he's really, at one point though, my friend Larry feels sorry, and he goes over to the guy and he goes, "Hey, it's a dude," and he goes, "He's shocked, really?" "Yeah, it is." And then we break off and we go to another bar. The tranny was Colombian. Ironically, Larry's mother is Colombian, like from Colombia, but he is like scary and threatening, and Larry's laughing it off. But I was really wasted, but I woke up because I said, I realized that's a guy you've taken, like Dave Chappelle says, never take another nigger's money, his business, get between a man and his business, right? We just took what would have been like, I don't know, $300 or whatever,
Yeah.
And so then I said, this person's going to hit you. You get a sense. You got to.
Yeah.
So I said, I told the guys, I said, stop fucking around. This got to get this dude out. Because I almost thought, I think they were going to take the shoe and just bash, right, which can do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
While we were laughing, I said, yeah, that smile's going to be. I'm not going to stick around for that. But that was pretty funny though. And the guy, so he came, and he went with us. And we went to A971, and I think, hey, he was pretty appreciative because we were laughing at first at his expense, but then we realized that could be his fucking nightmare,
Oh yeah.
So we decided to be good Samaritans,
Well, I used to work with a bunch of transvestites. I don't think any of them, because I never knew any of this kind of stuff growing up. I was like, there's dudes that act like women. I was like, that, like, it was a shock to my brain. It's like, didn't quite
you play
understand.
Guitars.
Well, yeah,
you like music. You like Ray Davey and the Kinks. You grew up with Lola.
Yeah, I never really thought about that though. I just never really thought about it.
Lola.
So,
I'm not dumb,
so-
but I don't understand why she walks like a woman, but
Woman
talks
who
like
talks
a man.
like a man. I don't know. I just never really put two and two together. I was like, I guess I figured there was people like that, but I just wasn't exposed to that. So go out to
And we
California,
didn't have internet.
and I'm working with transvestites, and that's whenever I found out there was a difference between pre-op and post-op and all that kind of crap. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then so there was a couple of that I worked with. They were like roommates, and they don't like gay guys. They like straight guys. That's their thing. And I'm just like, no, I'm not interested in that stuff. So like, screw you. And they were just like, oh, cool. Just like move on. And so these guys were at a
You saying they weren't interested in you?
No, I wasn't interested in them. I was at a gas station. Well, one of them was interested in me. The other one wasn't. It was weird, but they were at a gas station, like right off of like Santa Monica Boulevard, which is like really pretty much like the gay strip. And we live like 2 blocks from there. And I walked up to the gas station to go get a 40 because you could get them for $1.09. I grab my beer and I come out, and there's this Spanish guy that's sitting there like hitting up this dude, just like, hey baby, come over here. And it's like talking dirty, and dude turns around, the transvestite turns around, and voice freaking drops. I had never heard that before. Like voice drops down into a deep baritone. Is like, I will fuck you up if you don't leave me alone, asshole. And I turn and I look, and because I was used to this, hey, how's it going? And I'm just like, what the fuck was that?
That's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he was ready to throw down too. Like I'm like, fuck me. Yeah, strong, and you forget.
It's like that secret deodorant commercial. Did they still play it? Like strong like a man, but made for a woman.
Oh, I hadn't seen that in a long time.
Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
It was called Secret. Yeah.
pH balance. Yeah, strong enough for a man. pH balance just for you.
Oh boy, that's
yeah.
That's like a blast from. Oh, what I do remember? You can get no one who's under 40 will get this, but remember Calgon?
Yeah, back when you couldn't skip commercials.
So white, ancient Chinese secret. Then the wife comes back. We need more Calgon.
Yeah.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh? Calgon.
Calgon, the ancient
and maybe that stuff's still around, but they had to go after Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben, that's like,
I know. Well,
characters, Aunt Jemima,
yeah.
and it was like
an actual person, like saying,
we have to get rid of Martha Stewart because she's, I don't know. It's just like there's actual. Well, maybe that's okay. Well, actually, Martha Stewart is kind of black. She went to prison and she hangs out with Snoop Dogg. Thank God she wasn't like hanging out. She wasn't hanging around with P. Diddy. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's the amount of celebrities that's going to affect. Oh my gosh, that's going to be crazy. That is just going to be just the most insane thing.
Raise your hand if you're sure. Oh wait, the German version of sure. Okay, yeah, cut that commercial. That's a great show. Yeah, I just we never thought of those things. That commercial.
Yeah,
I love those commercials. They're great.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I think I have to be careful with the German stuff.
So what time does Meme fire it up?
Oh, he's already started 30 minutes.
Yeah, probably already started.
But I'm going to be late. And gay. I'm going to go eat something. I don't know what's for dinner, but
go eat something, Max. Go eat something.
Yeah, get some dinner.
Good seeing you, Max.
Yeah,
good to see you, Max.
Come on to Meme stuff. Come on to Meme state thing. You guys.
If I do, it'll be for a short period of time. I've got a dick that I've got to get on.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta get down on hands on his knees and rub a dick.
Yes.
Okay.
He's got to
scrape it. Like Max. It's actually a porch, but hey, it's still funny. It's not a wooden deck.
pads.
Yeah, I do have. Man, those things came in handy. God, those things came in handy. Having to grind that porch down. Oh my gosh, it was 120 square feet of cement that I'm grinding flat.
Celestial forces. Oh no, he's talking about dicks again.
Oh, dicks again. Oh no, he's talking about dicks again. Oh my gosh. So how? What did you think of the hearing last night with Sarah Boones?
Oh, it's great. There's more today, starting in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'll be recording it, and then I'll probably cover it before. If I have time, I'll cover it before it go on with Friday Night Live.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll start opening arguments today. So
yeah, that's what
I'm starting opening arguments.
Yeah, because I think that they'll probably do because they still haven't struck all the jurors, as far as I know. I don't think they've struck all the jurors.
Okay, they haven't whittled it down yet. So
yeah, I could be wrong on that. I didn't watch it last night because it went in. I think it went on until like 5 o'clock at night or something. And I do have a life outside of YouTube, so yeah, Legal Vices is starting. Yeah, everybody's starting on it. And what I'll do is I'm just going to set it to record, and that way I don't have to sit through how many hours of silliness.
Yeah.
And I can pretty much cut out everything, and it'll come new and fresh to me.
Yeah, that helped last night because I was looking as it was almost a 3-hour stream on Law and Crime, and you cut it in less than half an hour.
Yeah, I know.
Hour and 14 minutes. Yeah.
Yes. I do have a life, Volstorm. As much as people don't believe me, I do have a life. I think it's supposed to get warm today. I'm hoping it does because
life lately has been rubbing on dicks.
Yeah, it's been
laying some tile. Do that lay pipe.
Well, I'll be filling that grout in tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Hey, make sure it's all cleaned up and neat.
Oh, it will be. It will be. Yep, because today will be putting down the thin set. Once I got the thin set down what I'm doing today is because everything's ground out. I'm going to be taking the tile and laying it out, making sure that I've got all my measurements perfect, because I know that on one end of the porch is narrower than the other end by about half an inch, something like that.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, it's not bad. All I have to do is adjust for it and trim off the edge.
But it's not square. So if it's narrower on one end than the other, it's not square.
No, it's not square. So I'll be laying everything out, making sure that it fits in place, and then doing the trims and doing the trim around the posts that are in there. Because I have 2 posts and then, well, actually I have 4 posts because I have 2 that are fake on either end of the porch, and then there's 2 in the center, and so I've got to do all the cutouts on it, and I'm gonna get it all laid out. And once I've got it laid out, I'm gonna stack them back up in the way that I'm gonna lay them out, and then just go from there. And then tomorrow I'll lay down. I'll mix the thin set, and probably get the wife to help me, and just so she can be handing me each piece as it comes along, and I can just get them all laid in, get them spaced out, and get them set where they need to be. But yeah, it's the jury is paneled. Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's good. Get the wife on the dick too. All right.
Yeah, you wouldn't have the comprehension to sit through this trial. Well, and that's the thing.
But you wouldn't. But if you were on the panel, you wouldn't know anything about the trial.
Right. Yeah, I could not sit through this trial the whole way through. I mean,
yeah,
I've done it before with Baker, and then it came down to like while they were sequestered and coming up with their verdict, they were doing a verdict watch. I think that verdict watch lasted for 3 freaking days. I was just like, I mean, that's fine and good, and I'll probably break in whenever they do come out with a verdict, but I'm not gonna go through 3 days of verdict watch.
Yeah, I think he's kind of learned a little bit too. He does other stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
instead of just sitting there talking for hours.
I have a good chat. You can make it through. No, I could make it through. I did start on the Daybell trial, which lasted for way too long, but I realized, see, I work during the day. I have a day job, so whenever I'm working, I have to be on, and I'm on the phone. I'm constantly typing up pleadings, and there's no way that I could possibly control the stream, interact with chat, plus do my job. That would be
I'd love to be able to do that too.
yeah, absolutely, I would love to, but that's why I don't do as many trials as I would like to. I usually will go back and watch them and cover them that way. That's what I did with what was it? It was the retrial of what was his name? The guy that liked to compare dicks. I forget his name. No,
shit! I can't.
But you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
He was convicted
for.
for.
I could have told you if you hadn't asked.
Yeah, he was convicted for killing his wife and
Mark Jensen.
Yeah, Mark Jensen. So I actually covered that retrial. That was one of the early trial things that I did. But what I did is I covered it at night, and I ran it at 1.25 times the speed because Schrader just would bore you to death.
Oh, it's awful.
And the cool part was I could skip over all of the little stop points where they would do their pleadings and
sidebars and shit like that.
Sidebars. Oh my God, it was insane. Yeah, Schroeder was the first judge on that, and then there was a second judge that handled it. That was tedious, but I was able to get through it. I think that with Sarah Boone, I honestly believe that this trial will be done by the end of next week.
It should be.
I don't see that it could go any longer unless the defense is just pulls the same shit that they were doing this past week.
I don't think the judge is going to let them do that during trial.
No.
If he stays the way he has been, he's not going to let him delay. So, hey, let's get moving.
Well,
he'll cut out shit that's not relevant, not necessary, or not supported. He's not going to let them just throw shit in there.
Well, and my suspicion is that the first person that they're going to call up on the on the defense side is going to be Sarah Boone because they want to get in there.
It has to be.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be.
Yeah, and
she's going to get destroyed.
Yeah. She will be.
Unless she just sits up there and lies.
Well, even if she does sit up there and lie,
if she's claiming battered spouse defense, she's going to be lying. So,
yeah, because as soon as they see what the prosecution brings, it's over. Like it literally will be over.
Yeah,
you cannot dispute that video of her mocking him. You just can't dispute it. There's no way to dispute it. There's no way to dispute her spoken testimony about what happened. Yeah. Was that disturbing or not? Watching the prosecutor read that?
Yep.
I was like, holy crap.
He held it because he should have gone. I mean, it's pre-trial. Hopefully in trial, if they have to read through repeat any of it, he actually says the F word.
Yeah.
Instead of saying F word, it's like F you, actually say go for gold.
Well, it's gonna be vicious. It's gonna be a vicious hammering on against her.
Hanging Chad's ass. How big was the dude to get in the suitcase? He was like 5'2" or 3" and 103 pounds.
108 pounds or 103 pounds. Yeah,
he was 103. Sarah. Yeah, he was tiny.
So did you like the blonde? Did you
Oh, yeah.
the blonde in the red dress?
Yeah, they're towards the end.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, there was a good while they were having that conference with the judge. The part that I did cut out, I did leave that at the very end, because everybody needed to see her lift up her load. I don't know if I kept that part, but she sat there with Sarah like the whole damn time, and you could tell they were playing it up for the camera, because they had the brunette on one side, the blonde on the other, and the blonde, of course, has her top open, like for a boob window. This is like, let's put it this way. This is so unprofessional, because here's a perfect example. What's the girl's name here in Florida, in Georgia, that's going up against Fannie Willis? I can't remember her name.
I don't know.
Damn it. Like for the YSL trial, not the Trump trial, where they
Ashley Burchin?
Yeah, Ashley. So Ashley is very well endowed. It's very obvious. But she doesn't wear low cut stuff. All right. She keeps it buttoned up at the top and keeps it nice and it's you notice it, but that's because she's just well endowed. She keeps it covered up. This girl, on the other hand, has it opened up and then pulled in tight, and you're just like, that is not appropriate. That's just not. You just don't do that. No, I'm not complaining either. I'm just saying that it's very unprofessional. It shows you as it being in a different profession than an attorney. Like, you won't see an attorney show up like that. They just don't do it. Look at any one of the attorneys.
There are some. I've seen some.
Yeah, but like I said,
it's like, now some of them that they're more well endowed than that blonde, and so they maybe can't help it.
Yes.
But they're still wearing, the pencil skirts, and it's like, it's professional, but
I don't care if it's unprofessional. Well, I don't either. I'm just saying that if you're going for something as serious as a death penalty trial, you might not want to show up like a prostitute.
Well, this isn't death penalty, but still, it's a murder trial, and you might not want to have your kids hang out.
Just, I mean, it's not as distracting as I like that distraction, but just it's like I'm not impressed by it. Let's put it that way. It's like, okay, great.
Yeah, but that's something I've mentioned to some other, some guy attorneys, that women do tend to get away with a lot more with the dress code than men do.
Oh yeah.
With court, because we have to wear a coat tie. We have a set. We have to wear that in court, unless it's sometimes, a lot of times here is the courts will have summertime rules. So between like Memorial Day and Labor Day, you don't have. You just got to wear slacks and like a polo shirt, golf shirt, or button shirt. Right. Which I never do. I always forget. I just never do it. I just swear I'm going to court. I'm wearing a coat and tie. Yeah. And it can be 110 degrees outside. I'm wearing a coat and tie.
Now, if it's 110 degrees inside, you might strip off the coat. Yeah. But you're not. You're just like, man, I'm dying here. But if everybody's doing that at that point, they're just like, who the hell with that? Yeah, it's off-putting. Yes, I find it very off-putting. That is the best way of putting it.
And it's not even that. It's both extremes. You have those that dress that way, you're more too revealing. Then you have those that it's like they're not even wearing barely even business casual.
Right. Now the way that
it's like something something they're wearing to like the grocery store or something. I'm like, why? How could you get away with this? It's not. To me, it's not formal.
They show up in a pair of fluffy slippers and a pair of pajama pants and a t-shirt or a sweatshirt with no bra.
Well, like pro se's do that. Pro se's do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But as attorneys at a show, and it's like, it's not really a t-shirt, but it's it's a different, little thicker material, and like maybe just not even a sweater. It's weird. And the pants are, not really dress pants. I'm like, nobody says anything to them, but I'm like, that's not, to me, it's not professional enough for court.
No, No,
They get away with
especially
it.
if you're trying to represent your client.
There are a lot of a lot of guys that they'll wear tennis shoes to court. Some of them are old. I'm like, okay, you're wearing it because you have to medically probably. But,
yeah, because this is going to be hurting.
Yeah,
or just.
But I noticed that. I'm like, okay, well, he's wearing tennis shoes, and I never do that. So the only time I won't wear a coat and tie in the courthouse is if I'm there for something that is not actually going to be in front of a judge. So if I'm going there for filing just something more that's not in court, then I'll wear a polo and slacks. But, but I'm still not wearing.
Did you notice they're changing what they're saying now? It's like Harris's campaign features less talk of joy and more of head-on digs at Trump as election day nears. Oh my God! And this one here, Harris's interview with Fox News showcases a change in strategy for Democrats with network. I'm like, what? I was like, no, they wanted to go. I honestly believe the reason that they went on Fox is to say we're not scared of showing the other side. Dude, Fox News is the mainstream media. Fox News is no different than MSNBC, no difference than CBS.
They're just more to the. They're just not as far left. They're more to the center.
Exactly. And Max pointed something out very clearly. He was just like, how many liberals do you think watched that interview?
Yeah, not very many. And so they're going to rely on the rest of the mainstream media and the print media to say, oh, she slayed, she destroyed. It's like, no, if you watched it, she got embarrassed.
Yeah, NPR is left really bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's our tax dollars paying for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they do get private funding also from companies like Alliance and like if you see where they get their funding from, they're like really left-leaning companies. Like, yeah, you basically taking your tax dollars again. But yeah, I saw this today, and I was just sitting there going, okay, so what was it? Interview with Fox News during his campaign, increasingly willing to engage with a network well stocked with supporters of opponent Donald Trump. Where? Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Fox News was the first one to call it for Biden in Arizona?
Before as soon as the polls closed.
Yeah,
it was like right at 7:00 local time.
Yeah, they said, and I think they had only counted at that point like 5% of the vote. And they were just like, "Yep, Biden's got it." I was like, "What?" I remember seeing that. I was like, "What? Why are they saying that Biden's got it in Arizona?" Like they hadn't even
because they all knew
they hadn't even finished in Georgia.
Whether it was all set up.
Yeah. Whether to ignore Fox or seize opportunities to change the viewpoints of some audience members has been a subject of internal debate among Democrats. The Vice President, Governor Walz, and our campaign believe it's important to speak to all Americans. Yeah, don't believe that. Trump grumbled on his social media feed. No, he didn't grumble. He mocked. He was just like, yeah, it's not worthwhile doing interviews on Fox because it all just averages out into nothing. Fox News has totally lost its way. Yeah, that's it. I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising. I'd like to finish, Harris said at one point. She said that multiple times, but she was rambling. She was giving word salad. Like we watched that, and it was constant. Just, he's asking her a question. Now, in an interview, you don't give long answers. You give an answer that gets to the point. But she wasn't getting to the point. She was giving out a whole bunch of word salad. And he was just like, "Well, let me ask it so maybe it's a little bit clearer." And then he just like, "Okay, we've heard this. I can let you go on for 45 minutes rambling the same thing, and that's not how an interview works." Trump does the same thing. Like they'll cut him off, and he's usually respectful enough to say, "Yeah, okay," and then answer whatever stupid question that they're asking him again. Usually they try to ask it 10 different ways, but that's not what what's his name? I forget his name. Dead. he was just like, well, what about this? And what about this? And how about this? And each time she was getting more and more pissed off because she wasn't able to get her talking point out. It's like, you've got to shorten it up. And this is the reason why the left has a hard time memeing, is because they feel that you're too stupid and they have to explain the joke to you. That's
no,
why
they're just not funny.
Well, that's why, because they have to explain the joke to you. If you have to have the joke explained to you, then just they view you as stupid. I'm just sorry. That's so bad. And
well, yeah,
she was
they're
evading
better
the
than
question.
Well, she couldn't actually answer it truthfully, because if she answered it the way she really wants to answer it, and being honest, she wouldn't get any votes. She's freaking stolid.
Oh, what Harris was
That's
facing.
how far elected. That's how far elected. That party idolizes Mao Zedong. It's Stalin, and
yes,
you know, it's
So what was this? I would expect that you're pretty much going to get Bear. Strong, tough questions with aggressive follow-up. In a word, fair. Tom Jones wrote in a Poynter Institute journalism newsletter on Wednesday. Yet Bear was also keenly aware of the network's audience, sometimes too determined. Court papers a lawsuit against Fox News for spreading false stories about an elections technology firm after the 2020 election revealed that Bear privately urged Fox controversial and ultimately correct call of Biden's win in Arizona be overturned. What? Here's the thing. No, anybody that was listening to these kind of things, others suspected the interview might be edited. He insisted he would be taped at 5:30. The Time Harris campaign gave the interview and show it on its entirety after his show shortly after. Yeah, it was like last night during the dinner. She didn't show up, but she pre-taped it, and it was horrible. Like her comedy routine or whatever was just like, you have to pay actors to come in and make it funny because you have no humor.
Well, Zach says they're condescending, which means talking down to people.
Yeah.
For those of you in Rio Linda, that means talking down to people.
I love it. They're condescending. By the way, that means talking down to people. Thanks, Zach. I love it.
And I'm not sure if Roxanne got the joke, because she's like, "You got that right, Zach," and I'm like,
I think she got the joke.
I think she did.
I think she got. That makes me laugh. That makes me laugh so much. Now generations behind us are so indoctrinated to the left, we're losing the America I remember.
Because the communists, they infiltrated the education system, and all those hippies and lefties from the 60s and 70s are teaching students, and they taught the next generation, who are now even further left with the environmental wackos. It's just a new communist movement. They're all and wokeism, all that stuff. They're teaching the new generation of teachers who are now, they infiltrated the education system. And so they have thousands, billions.
Here's the thing. I do have hope for it. I do have hope for this. And the reason I say this is because I think that pendulum is going to swing.
Oh, it always swings back. It always swings.
And what will happen is it does in a lot of places, and hopefully, it happens sooner rather than later, is kids as they're growing up and they see the hypocrisy in the whole. It's sort of like growing up in a really hardcore religious family that's like cultish. Like they grow up in that, and yes, they're indoctrinated into it. And that at one point they start questioning things. And whenever they start questioning them, they're just like, they see the hypocrisy of, well, you're saying that, it's okay to sleep with mother, sister, aunt, or whatever it is. But you're saying that it's wrong to do that, but yet you're doing it anyway. And I don't want to be any part of this. And they really question it. And whenever they leave that kind of situation, it really flips the script like drastically, and makes they really can bring out and expose how crazy they are. You see it time and time again. You really don't know how bad it was at Jim Jones. It was not a pretty sight. And people they do wake up, they do notice these things happening, and they do like step out. And the ones that don't get away from it, they're just like the people at Jim Jones. They end up drinking the Kool-Aid. And that's the unfortunate part of it. But that's sort of what I mean by the pendulum swinging. Whenever people step away from it and they realize what's happening, whenever you see people that are just sitting there going, holy crap, do you realize that they've been going after a former president with ungrounded things? I mean, it got kicked out by appellate courts. They've lost in how many states are they losing in? Like these legal things that they're trying to do, going after a former president, is like, it is total hit. And he's dodging bullets, literally and figuratively. He's dodging bullets.
It's literally dodging.
And he brought that one up too. That was pretty funny last night. He was just, it's you see that kind of thing happening, and people, if they're smart enough and they actually view it, they're just like, oh crap, that's not what happened. What they're saying happened didn't happen. And they're able to see for themselves, and the change is more solidified whenever they're able to realize it for themselves. And it's amazing to me, because whenever they do, they come up to you like it's a revelation, like, holy cow, did you see what so and so, and I thought I could have sworn and you're just like, I know, like, I'm used to that. But the change is so drastic, and it's almost like this weight is lifted off their shoulders. I'm like, well, it's sort of like watching all the silliness of a sitcom. Yeah. You're just like, you just realize that. Oh my gosh! All right, later, Debbie. You have a wonderful one. We'll see you very soon. Bye, Debbie Webb. And it looks like everybody's going to be firing up stuff here pretty soon. Let me see. I think I'll send everyone over to, what do we have? I want to see who exactly is.
Meme is going. Legal Vices. I think Legal Mindset's going to be going soon.
Legal Mindset. He's covering this too.
There was a local thing popped up just now. It was a Legal Mindset. It's like, finally, looks like they're finally going to start trial. So I wonder if he's going to stream it.
He might. I was looking. I don't see. Usually Meme is going on, right? I thought Meme was up.
He is going. He's going. You may have to type it in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
YouTube's
to type
that, so YouTube doesn't always show people. So.
Yeah, let me see.
But
yeah. Legal Mindset's over there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, with Meme.
Yeah, he's on with Meme. I'm gonna go over there and give him a hard time.
Yeah. And I'm still driving. They can send me an invite too. I think Meme's got my Twitter. So
yeah. I hadn't seen Mindset forever. I've only talked to him maybe a couple of times. A lot of people don't like him.
He's cool. I mean,
yeah. He's smart.
I mean, he's been doing a lot of the anime VTuber stuff, which I don't know much about the VTuber conflicts.
I don't either.
But the Disney stuff, he was dead on with it. So it was great. So
cool, very cool. But yeah, I've got everyone set up to go check out Meme. Go and wherever you fall today, no matter where it is, make sure that you fall in there. You hit that like.
Make sure you give us all shout outs wherever you go.
Yeah, give a like, give them some love, and everybody have a wonderful day. I will see you guys hopefully tonight. If all works out, I might do a little bit of Sarah Boone, not like that. And most definitely should be seeing you on Friday Night Live on The Experts. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. And thanks again to Max and MG for swinging on by.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Something news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Something news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Something news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.